If I can do it, anybody can do it. Life Lessons is exactly what it says. It is the lessons of my life.
I'm going to talk about, me.
I had a horrible life. I had, David Copperfield, he had a nice time. Oliver Twist, that panty waist, it was nothing.
My mother left me when I was a year and a half old. And I enjoy saying I was abandoned as an infant because you get really more, punch, emotional.
Oh, we didn't have very many toys or anything childlike. I read Shakespeare when I was about 8, not because I was smart, because we didn't have any other books.
As if I wasn't having enough trouble with the bruisings and the pullings and the no mothers, I was also a nice fat kid. Oh, doesn't that make it better?
I've always been overweight. I weighed 115 pounds when I was 7, 200 when I was 12.
Speaking of happiness,
I weighed 275 when I was probably about 20. That's the most I'm certain that I weighed. Although I didn't weigh myself for about 6 months before I went on a diet, and the diet just attacked me.
I also weigh 161.3. You're not supposed to admit that either. But I like admitting it. I think there's so much freedom in just telling the truth.
I love being able to look back and see what happened to my life. I think introspection is important. I think it's important to notice your life because your life is getting lived, whether you notice it or not. I feel like my career began as soon as I was born because my life feels like it is my career.
I've been traveling. I was in Mississippi. And
I was a stand-up comic. I was a headliner within 2 years. I spent about 40 weeks a year on the road.
And I was wearing a ring, not this one, but I was wearing a ring, and he loves this ring. He says he loves black onyx. I said, it's not black onyx, it's a mood ring.
Hired on the Rosie O'Donnell show. I was one of the first hires. I started as a staff writer. Within 6 months, I was head writer, then supervising producer. I won 5 producing Emmys there.
I met Jeanette Barber on my first paying gig as a headliner comic down in Florida. We were working at Bonkers Comedy Club. I was the headliner, she was the middle act.
There you go.
We've been together ever since.
It's a beautiful
I
thing.
need therapy, frankly.
I wrote a book called Breaking the Rules, Last-Ditch Tactics for Landing the Men of Your Dreams, and that was a bestseller. After the Rosie O'Donnell show, I started my own show called Lighten Up. It was a cooking show on the Food Network.
Whoa, this is Lighten Up. I'm Jeanette.
The fact that I am someone that no one would have thought would have been successful. I had everything that you could have sort of strikes against me, and yet I did become successful, and I thought, well, that has value.
The most important advice, it is to say yes. To say yes to everything, whether you want it or not. That's the key.
That's what I think makes my speech sort of unique. I've never heard anybody else really talk about it like this, because you're supposed to overcome all your problems. I think you just make your problems work for you. I actually think that you should embrace your flaws. Don't go around the world trying to recover from everything. Look at what's wrong with you and see if you can make it work for you. When I speak, I think what I bring to the audience is authenticity, honesty, truth as I see it, irreverence, and what do I bring them? I bring them hope.
In your garden, what can you put in the ground that will make your flowers grow unbelievably gorgeous? What can you do? Shit. Shit is great for the garden, especially if you compost some nice composted cow shit. Please, I don't want to. It's going to be stunning. Those beautiful flowers grew out of the shit. So, what this tells me about life is that we need to respect the shit.
I don't care how bad your problem is. I don't care how much you hate yourself. You can do it. You can get past it, you can move up, you can learn from it, you can respect it, and you can get to another place. Because I did, why can't anybody?
Whenever something really, really horrible happens to you, later on in life, when you look back on it, something really wonderful has always come out of that horrible thing. So it's kind of as if pain is God's gift to us. But you really have to wonder where God shops. Thank you very much.
I want them to see it's possible. You think, whoever you are, you think you can't. You think you're not good enough. You think you're not strong enough. But then look, it's possible.